This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Welcome back to Chapter 3 of our series, The Psychology of Networking. In this episode titled, Leveraging Reciprocity and Influence, we'll explore the powerful principle of reciprocity and how it can transform your networking efforts. Get ready to discover how giving can lead to receiving in the most meaningful ways. Let's dive in. Robert Cialdini calls it the most potent weapon of influence, yet most people use it accidentally, if at all. A quick email intro, a small favor, a sincere compliment. In one moment, they're polite gestures. In the next, they quietly rewire a career-changing relationship. Think of those moments as the visible tip of a much larger system running quietly underneath every interaction, the norm that we should return what we're given. Reciprocity isn't just being nice, it's a built-in expectation that shapes who we answer, mentor, promote, or introduce when opportunities appear. In professional life, that expectation can be activated in tiny, intentional ways. Sharing a playbook that helped you hit a target, sending a quick voice note with concrete feedback, or looping someone into a project where their strengths shine. Done transparently, with no strings attached, these gestures don't create debt, they create momentum. Over time, people begin to associate you with movement, clarity, and opportunity. In a world crowded with surface-level connections, reciprocity is how you quietly shift from one more contact to someone I actively root for. Here's the twist. Reciprocity isn't only about doing more for others, it's also about becoming more visible as someone others can safely invest in. People are constantly scanning for subtle signals. Do you follow through? Do you share credit upward and sideways? Do you remember small details, like a colleague's launch date or hiring crunch, and circle back with something timely they can use? These microsignals function like landmarks on a hiking trail. They quietly reassure people that walking further with you is low risk and high return. Influence grows not from one heroic gesture, but from a traceable pattern of these small, credible bets. Think about what's happening under the hood when you feel compelled to respond to someone who's helped you before. It's not just politeness. Brain imaging studies show that when we reciprocate cooperation, the brain lights up in reward regions much like it does when we receive money. Helping isn't only a cost, it's a psychological payoff. That's why people remember those who make it easy and enjoyable to reciprocate. This is where influence stops being abstract and starts getting practical. In networks, people gravitate toward high-leverage givers, the ones whose contributions are specific, easy to use, and well-timed. Compare two behaviors. Vague generosity. Let me know how I can help. Targeted generosity. You mentioned hiring. Here's the interview scorecard we use, plus the one question that filters for your top trait. The second doesn't just create goodwill, it creates competence signals. You're not only kind, you're useful, and that combination changes who gets invited into important conversations. Ethical influence also involves asking strategically. The Ben Franklin effect shows that asking for a reasonable favor can actually deepen rapport. But the key is how you ask. Strong networkers don't request big leaps from weak ties. They request easy yeses that fit the other person's role and self-image. Examples. From a senior leader, could I get your quick take on which of these two directions seems more fundable? From a peer, would you be open to cross-reviewing each other's client proposals this quarter? Each yes slightly revises the story the other person tells themselves. I'm someone who supports this person's progress. That identity shift is often more powerful than any single favor. Influence compounds when you connect people, not just help them individually. Generalized reciprocity, contributing to a community without tracking who owes whom, builds a reputation that silently travels ahead of you. That's part of how referral-driven groups generate staggering business volume. Members learn to associate your name with opportunity flowing through you, not just to you. Use influence tools as contrast enhancers, not puppeteering devices. You're clarifying why collaborating with you is low friction and high benefit, then letting others choose freely. Over time, that clarity is what turns casual contacts into advocates. A practical way to spot this in real life: watch who quietly becomes the traffic hub in any team. They're the person others copy on tricky emails, loop into debriefs, or consult before committing to a path. Often, their influence moves look small: sharing a draft template before anyone asks, flagging a risk early with options attached, or amplifying someone else's win to the right audience. None of this feels like grand generosity, yet it steadily upgrades how others forecast the value of including them. Consider a product manager who, after each launch, writes a tight one-page teardown and sends it to design, engineering, and sales with 3 reusable insights. Over months, they become the person leaders ping when scoping new bets. Or think of an engineer who keeps an internal people map and regularly connects colleagues whose projects rhyme. They may not hold formal authority, but their name shows up at the origin of a surprising number of good things. Like a skilled travel guide who knows the unmarked shortcuts between landmarks, they make every route smoother, and people remember who got them there. As these dynamics scale, networks may start to feel less like loose clouds of contacts and more like living ecosystems that self-balance. AI tools could surface surprisingly precise best next moves: the article to send a colleague on a tough project, the conference session where 2 contacts should meet, the quiet contributor whose work you can spotlight. Used well, these tools won't replace human judgment. They'll extend it, like a lantern that shows more paths without deciding which one you should walk. Over time, you'll notice a quiet metric shifting. Who volunteers ideas in your direction? Who forwards you chances before they're public? Who adds your name when rooms get smaller? Your challenge this week? Run a live experiment. Pick 3 people and design one tailored, no-strings-attached assist for each. Then watch where the next unexpected door cracks open. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. This series continues with more chapters on OwlUp.co. Visit OwlUp.co to access the complete course and continue your learning journey. See you there!